with just this one. And there's a feeling when you look out and you ask, what can I be? And you know there's really nothing that can keep a guy from being what he wants to be. 'Cause it's that California feeling in the east and in the west. It's that California feeling in your talk and in your dress. We always look to what could be instead of all that was, instead of all that is, what can be.
Welcome to Orange County International Raceway, where today we're having the Hang 10 of Funny Car 500. You'll see Pat Foster in the very Setzer Vega, the defending champion, Little John Lombardo, Danny Ongaias, the Big John Masmedia's machine, Jervis O'Neill, Jim Nedoff, Paisano Matsubara, world champion Gene Snow, Tom Ferraro, the Bratzenberg in Vega, and Big Jim Dunn.
Everybody's afraid of something, but I think my biggest fear since I was little was fire and heights. So I figured the best way to get rid of it was just join the fire department. As far as funny cars go, I'm still get nervous at the starting line because you never know exactly what you're going to do until you do it, and sometimes it's too late. And I think if you lost all your fear and respect, you just quit being fun and you get hurt, and you just got to respect them. That's all there is to it, because you just never know what they're going to do. But why worry about death if it comes sooner or later?
And here's a treat. Next up to qualify is Jim Dunn in the trend setting rear-engine Plymouth Barracuda funny car. In the starting gate, the green light is on, and Dunn is underway down the quarter mile in his qualifying attempt. Looks like Dunn's got a good one cooking. Wait a minute, something comes off the car. Dunn blows the top off the car. Everything appears to be all right, and get this, he still qualifies at a 6:94 elapsed time. Only 2 hours to funny car eliminations. Incidentally, fans might want to check out the frantic pit work by Jim Dunn's crew as they are taping together the body on his funny car so he can be in the first round.
The hood went down, it ripped the bolts right out from under the windshield, and the air got under it and peeled it right off the top. So you just going to have to stiffen the hood, and something which we hadn't counted on. I got a good crew, and they're over there working the pop rivet, put silver tape on it. We'll try to make it. I'm one of the older drivers out there, but most of your good drivers are probably in their late 30s, early 30s. And right now, just in the last 2 or 3 years, the young kids are starting to come in, which is good.
Attention funny car drivers, only 1 hour to funny car eliminations. The staging lanes are open.
We got a rear engine car, and it's a sort of a prototype right now. There's only 3 of them running, and we're having a little bit of bad luck right here, but I think the other 2 are having a little worse luck than we are. Drag racing is simply 2 cars racing down a quarter of a mile. The burnouts you do simply get your tires hot, give the crowd a little show. The tree comes down, you can go when it turns green. If you're too soon, it turns red and you lose.
Steve Byrne is in the starting gate. The R's are up. Super Chief, he's underway. Oh, gigantic wheel stand by Byrne, the Super Chief. He sets her down, appears to be all right. The car is out of control. Hold on, Byrne is in there.
I've been married to Pat for 17 years.
I wouldn't be honest if I didn't say I didn't worry, but you really can't worry that much, and Jim's proved to me over the years that he's very safety conscious about things, and he's very good about it. When someone is killed on the drag strip, I don't really connect it with Jim. You feel bad about it, but if I let everything get to me, I could go nuts after a while.
The funny car is just a plastic body that they've taken off of a regular production car, and you put it on just basically a short dragster frame with a dragster engine in it. A total deal, just to go out and buy it with the trailer, equipment, tow truck and everything. You're talking about an honest $35,000–$40,000. So where I was lucky to start when it was cheaper, and I just kept racing as it went, and I've kept up on the money deal that way.
Attention, all funny car drivers and crews, only a half hour till funny car elimination. You should be in the staging lanes. And here's good news for all you fans. Big Jim Dunn has repaired his top of the Barracuda. He will be in the first round of elimination.
And I'm known as a lever. I'll usually guess on the lights, and I'll anticipate and try to get out on them. They'll give me a 1/10 of a second, which I can do because I'm not a paid driver. A paid driver, it's very bad if you red lights. Well, my crew says we don't red light twice a year, we're not trying hard enough. So we will take a chance if we're down. If we get Setzer tonight or any other night, I'll leave on him because I know he can beat me fair, so I got to try to cheat. And the only way we can cheat, honestly, is to anticipate the light, and that's just an honest gamble.
Vegas, setting low elapsed time at 6.64 seconds. Setzer and Foster, of course, hold the track record at a 6:52 elapsed time. They also hold the distinction of being the quickest funny car in the sport at 6.40 seconds. In this race, it'll be Gary Bergen, the Brasket and Bergen Vega, and Gary Dencham, the Dencham and Walker Ford Pinto. They're all set. There they go. They're side by side. Bergen falls back. It's Gary Dencham, an upset at 7.21 seconds. In the next pairing, it's the Setzer Vega, driven by Pat Foster, against Jervis O'Neill, the King Rat Chevy Camaro. They're both staged up. The green light. They leave side by side. O'Neill on cruise control, the King Rat. Foster at 6:47 elapsed time. Now it's the colorful Sush Monsamara, the Paisano Monsamara Vega. And there goes Monsamara on his burnout. His opponent will be world champion Gene Snow from Fort Worth, Texas. Oh, this is going to be a good race. Monsamara against Snow. They're both ready to go. Snow clicks off a 6:68 for the win. Top speed of the event at 222 miles per hour. The next race will pit the KG veteran Jim Dunn, who has gone to the semifinal. He has drawn Pete Everett's Little Demon. This is the second half of the semifinal race. The winner of this will go into the final against the awesome Barry Setzer Vega, driven by Pat Foster. The world's greatest and the fastest funny car. They're both set to go. Dunn leads first as usual. The motor backfire laps time, speed of 194.80 miles per hour. It's Jim Dunn into the final against Pat Foster, the Barry Setzer Vega, for the Funny Car 500 title.
They call us the budget racers, mainly because we can't buy a pink motor or a black engine. So we build our own motors and we do all our own mechanical work that we can. I've got a very good crew here. They don't get paid anything. And the main thing, they really enjoy racing, so they're very good on the crew. My family gets involved quite a bit. Like my son there is my #1 pit crew, and my daughters help pack the chutes and pour the oil when we go out. My wife, she pours the bleach and helps line us up. Last year we went back east. We went through 23 states and raced 18 times. We were gone 5 weeks, and that's what I called a vacation.
Qualifying. He's mowed down 3 opponents. He is in the final, and he'll be going against Pat Foster in the awesome Barry Setzer Vega that pulls OET at a 6:40.70 lap time. Actually, what we're doing now is warming up the starting line with the torch. We do this before the final. There's no liquid down, no reason to be alarmed. We're doing this to give the driver and their crew members the best chance to launch their car in this all-important final. It's just to warm the starting line. It's the combination, of course, the launch of these cars. It's 2 things. It's the heat, the stickiness of the tires, and, of course, the heat itself of the track. Before we enter the all-important final, a real credit to Jim Dunn and his crew for their frantic pit work, as 3 hours ago, his car...
Last round, we have a saying that we usually use that we're going to put the motor on kill. When we say put the motor on kill, it means we're putting in as much nitro or a little more than we know it could possibly use, and if we're wrong, it's going to explode, and that's why we call them a little 7-second hand grenade.
And he'll be using all his canniness. Everything he has is savvy to get by Pat Foster to lead first the starting line and hold him off before they reach the finish. Jim Dunn's experimental rear-engine Barracuda is designed, of course, to lead hard on the starting line. He left very hard. He's held his opponent off. He's been able to shut off early speeds 190 miles an hour or so, and therefore defeated opponents. This is what we can look for in the final against Pat Foster. It'll be Dunn trying to lead first and trying to hold off the Vega to the finish line. The burnout, first of all, in the right-hand lane by Pat Foster and the Barry Setzer Vega. Vega sets them on fire as he warms the rear tires. This is it, the all-important final. At this, the second annual Hang 10 and Funny Car 500. In the tower lane now, the burnout by Jim Dunn. Oh, Dunn just smokes them all the way down the track to the 3/4 mark, putting on quite a show in this final race. Quite a feat for the fireman from La Mirada, Jim Dunn, that he's even in this final. He backs up his Barracuda, as 3 hours ago this car was a convertible. He blew the top off in qualifying, and here he is in the final. They're both set to go. Green light. Oh no, it's a red light for Dunn in the Dunn and Reed machine and trying to outguess the starter here at Orange County Raceway.
A lot of guys like to play football, baseball, or something, but even when I was little, I'd like to go racing now. When I was very small, my dad, he liked horses, and he had me a horse, and we lived out in the dairy, and he wanted me to work there, but I told him I didn't want nothing to do with that act, so my dad says, well, what do you want to do? I says, I want to go racing. So he said, for my 16th birthday, he bought me a 40 Ford, and a cam, 2 carburetors, and about $50 worth of tools, and said, there you go. I've been racing ever since. We got competitive about 1963 and 64. We started racing with the Aldred here. It was Dunn Merritt Velasco Coupe. We ran it for 2 years, won the Winter Nationals both years. Then we went dragsters, Henry and I, and didn't turn out too well. I wanted to go Chrysler. He didn't want to.
He was a racer when we met, and when I married him, and he still is.
So I've got a new partner named Yates. We went dragster racing. We were low ET at Riverside the 3rd week out for the hot rod manufacturers meet, and had to quit. And then I went down and saw Reed Automotive, and he says, I'll give you a motor if you want to run a car. And I had a brand new car then. It didn't do too well. It had an experimental Woody front end on it.
Easy to get along with, and he's a good sport.
And then we got a new car. We got the rainbow car, they called it. And we won Bakersfield that year for the field championship in '69. We won Division 7, '69.
You know, if he didn't race, I wouldn't want to go out because it would be so boring.
And we went to the funny car, the Dunn and Reed funny car. We won Bakersfield again in '71 with the funny car. I believe that do what you want to do now and worry about being old when you're old. I can't see saving my money. I do what I want to do today and worry about tomorrow. So I guess you could say I live day by day rather than what will I be doing 30 years from now.
After he built the funny car, he just started winning a lot, and the bottle company came on to build models, make models though. Dad said sure, and they were just, they were going to give him some money, but he didn't really care about the money, and they ended up giving him 1.5% plus $500.
Used to, if you had $1,000, you could be 80% of the guys because they only had $500. But now everybody's got their $1,000. Now you go out there and you got the factories behind them and everything. So you're beating a bigger factory now. It's a bigger thing. Actually gives you more satisfaction when you can beat one because it is harder and it's more competitive than it used to.
There's a special trophy for red lighting at the Hank Henry.
One of a kind.
Neato, right?
Why did you red light?
Why did I red light? Because the light was too slow. I was perfect.
Every driver here in all must win to earn those valuable points to lead them to the World Championship Series final at Orange County International Raceway on September 16th. The winner there.
I can't believe it, man. We got robbed last night. Like we're laying there in bed, and I got my billfold by the TV, and the kid's got his pants lying there. Get up this morning, both our billfolds are empty. I mean, that guy had a little hair to come in with 5 of us sleeping in there. I didn't even find out about it. I went in and got a glass of orange juice today and had to borrow some money from a buddy.
I just really started doing stuff last year when we went on tour. It was really fun because it was just me, my mom, my sisters. We were the crew, so to speak, and my dad was driving. I feel close to my dad because I always go with him.
All right, coming up in qualifying right now is the brand new Sophie sales car owned by Larry Huff. Dave Beebe, one of the finest drivers of funny cars in the country, is at the wheel. He's pulling into the bleach box right now with his new Challenger funny car. He's getting ready for his burnout, and here he comes. Dave Beebe out of the bleach box. He'll be backing the car up, and Dave Beebe now getting ready to make his qualifying attempt. He's into the staging teams. Dave Beebe, the Sophie sales car, that's the fastest time of the day thus far for funny cars in Sacramento, 213 miles an hour. Jorge Azevedo now. The active funny car the drummer goes through. He runs in the elapsed time of 7.67 seconds. There goes his burnout, a strong, smoky burnout by Jim Dunn, taking those tires. Backing up into his own tracks to provide the best traction. Dunn now approaches the starting line. And Dunn goes sideways. He gets it straight. He keeps on through it. It looks like he may have nipped the piston about halfway down. He still has 7.31 seconds, enough to qualify into this funny car eliminator program at Sacramento Raceway Park.
It took all the rings and it's oiling. When it gets oil with the fuel we run, it'll detonate real hard. We'll go back into the race, and just hope for luck that we can luck through. It'll probably run 720, which is fair. That's not even fair. That's pretty bad. But rather than just going home, we'll try.
Qualifying in top fuel eliminator for those all-important World Championship Series points here at Sacramento. We have 2 cars attempting to qualify into that 16-car field in competition eliminator. Configuration. One of the strongest eliminators throughout the entire western part of the United States. Funny car qualifying continues. First up is Benjamin Walker. 7.51 second elapsed time puts him in the program. So they both lead the line. And it's 0.97 seconds. And that really puts him in the program. Williams coming in trailing with a 7.96 seconds. The car, it looks like from here to be getting sideways. McFarland wants to put fire out of the car. ride for a good driver. McFarland's car coming to a rest clear at the end of this quarter mile. McFarland, we have word from the finish line, got a little bit singed, but is in good shape. The first race of the first round of Funny Car Eliminator, this World Championship Series event at Sacramento Raceway Park, pits the only two rear-engine funny cars in the world, and breaks of breaks for Dave Mata, who has to be the underdog. They meet in the first round, side by side. Davey Mata with a brand new car, and it looks a little bit different as the body is set down very low over the car, and Jim Dunn, the Colorado one of the guys that is most respected in funny car racing throughout the entire United States. He drives that rear-engine Barracuda, and certainly one of the toughest in the country. Both cars heading now towards the starting line. The tree counts down, they're both on Dunn with 15, and Mata having problems after cutting down in the middle of the course. Dunn goes through with an elapsed time of 6.98 seconds at 195 miles an hour. Davey Mata trailing with a slowing 136 miles an hour at 8.31 seconds. Jim Dunn winning the first race, moving on to round number 2 and the all-important World Championship Series points.
He's probably one of the best drivers out there as far as I'm concerned. He's not swell-headed enough. He's the kind of driver that after the race we all go out and party together, have a good time. He's got a very short temper, but it doesn't last that long. You know, he's man enough to 5 minutes later, he figures all about what made him mad, and back to the same old.
Yeah, I figure I'll drive for another 3 or 4 more years. The tuning the motors, getting chassis to work, that's the hardest part. So I'll probably just go into helping the kid get his car to run. He'll be the driver, and I'll just go into the background.
I haven't really decided what I'd like to do with my life yet. I'd like to get into drag racing, but I feel I should have some other thing to do in case I don't make it. I've been thinking of taking a class next year in accounting.
Chevy Vega. They're both doing their burnouts, a strong burnout by Jim Dunn. And Sush Matsubara also a tremendous burnout, heating those big 13-inch wide slicks to put the heat in them and also put the rubber on the racetrack. They're both approaching the starting line now. Uh-oh, it looks like Jim Dunn's forgot his goggles. A very sharp crewman tells him to put them down, and there goes Dunn now into the staging beat. Side, a little bit of haze, smoke coming off the tires of Sush Matsubara. It's Jim Dunn for the win into the final of 7:11, 188.29 miles an hour, losing 7:12, a tremendous 210 top-end charge by Sush Matsubara. We just got word from the pit. It's a broken 2-speed for Jim Dunn. Dave Beebe, the automatic winner. A tough break for Dunn and the rear-engine Barracuda.
I miss Jim the most when he's at the fire station.
Yeah, I've been on a fire department about 9 years. The job's very good. You got good guys to work with, and you never know what's going to happen. Maybe we'll have a fire today, maybe we won't. It work's the worst part because there's just no way of getting home then. I mean, if you're out racing, like I said, it's more of a family affair. At work, you're gone for 24 hours, and you're gone, 1/3 of my life we're at work. That's probably the most lonesome time. I could probably do better right now, say, drive into the race car than I could in a fire department, but you have good security, and I got a family with 3 kids. Like I say, I'm a professional hobbyist. That's the way we look at it. And I get to race enough where I'm satisfied, and I still got a good enough job that keeps my wife happy. I was, I should say, scared of heights. Just, I mean, literally scared of getting on top of a coffee table even. And to get on the job, the first time I failed the physical agility, which consists of going up 5 stories up a ladder truck and then down and everything. I went up it and down it, and the guy got down the end. The guy says, "Boy, I'm sorry, Mr. Dunn, you failed." And I said, "Man, I'm happy I went up and down it. I thought maybe you had to pull me down."
2.
I think that Jim and I are very close as husbands and wives go.
The only thing that really troubles me is his temper. He's got kind of a bad temper, and so do I, and sometimes we kind of get into it. If he's wrong about it, he will apologize.
I learned from my father to be a good loser. Like you said, sometimes you gotta win, sometimes you gotta lose.
Jim's a very good dancer, but he won't dance.
You don't have to keep something going. I mean, if you like each other and have fun or whatever you do, it goes. It's like anything else. If it gels, but we try to do things together. The most important thing I can do to my family is just make sure, try to keep them healthy and give them enough to eat and clothes, and see if they have a good time, give them an education, and they'll have to do what they want to do themselves. I have this memory of my wife. It have to be yesterday or a minute ago.
There's a feeling when you speak up and you say, "Give me a try," and you know that though it's new to you, you've got the kind of heart and what it takes to make it fly.
about the dust storms, a little bit of rain here at Salt Lake City, Utah. The World Championship Series will resume as soon as the weather permits. While we're stopped here, ladies and gentlemen, for a moment to...
Yeah, the dust is pretty bad, but I've been racing for about 20 years. And 20 years I've been running on the streets. I've been running out Dad's cow pasture, and been in it ever since high school, and I've seen worse things than this. I mean, I won't run in it now because we're going too fast right now. I mean, 20 years ago, I've been going about 80 miles an hour as fast as I could go, so I don't think you'd really hurt it, because about now I'll be doing 80 when I come out of the burnout. 20 years is a long time.
So exciting. I'm firing, I'm flying away. Firing, I'm flying today. Firing, I'm flying away. Make a way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Now there's fire in my eyes, and I pray I won't die. Hey, look, I'm igniting. I'm firing, I'm flying. Oh yeah. Firing, I'm flying today. Firing, I'm flying away, make a way. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I'm flying away. I'm firing, I'm flying. Oh, oh, oh. Well, I'm firing and I'm flying. I'm
Okay, the dust storm's over, and the action will resume very shortly here at Salt Lake. Tom Zediger of the Family Affair. He and his family travel throughout the West every summer with their funny car. They'll be trying out the track here very shortly. See the kids, the wife. It's a real family affair. We'll also have several runs to see that everything is clear. These are qualifying runs. Here in the late morning, the last time speeds much, much better. Pulling to the line. They're underway. Look out, one of the cars upside down and rolling down the track. Emergency position. Let's see what happens here. It appears that the driver has an injured leg. The injury is not serious. We repeat, the injury is not serious, but we'll have to take the driver to the hospital for a checkout.
Well, the other drivers, my friends are, I'd say Sush and Paisano, McEwen. There's quite a few over the years. You have to know them, but there's just a bunch of drivers. We just know each other at the racetrack, and when I'm at home, we never talk to each other.
I don't really get worried because he's a pretty good driver. He's been driving for 20 years.
From Denver, Colorado, Sush Matsubaro, the Paisano Matsubaro team out of Los Angeles. Big Jim Dunn and the Dunn and Reed car. Also, other top machines competing for a great amount of cash and awards at Salt Lake City. down, ladies and gentlemen, some 1,500 horsepower as Big Jim Dunn, the Dunn & Reed rear-engine funny car, comes towards the starting line. Dunn, a big favorite here with the fans at Bonneville Racetrack. It's a different altitude than he's used to working on. He's fired up. And he thunders down the quarter mile. He's making a fantastic run. A very good qualifying run for Big Jim Dunn with a 6.85 seconds. 6:85, a new Bonneville track record.
Last year, when we started, everybody had 3-speed transmissions. They weighed about 2,500 pounds, and they thought that was the answer. And we got together and said, they're all wrong, you know. So we built a lightweight one and made as much like a drag as we could, high gear and everything. And we were the winningest car on the West Coast. So this year we figured, well, let's go one step more. So we built the rear engine, and it's been giving us nothing but a headache. But we're starting to get the combination, and it must be working because we got the track record here tonight.
No, I wouldn't prefer that he not race. Sometimes I think I'd like him to race a little less, only because he's not home as much as I'd like him to be.
Nitro-burning, Hemi-powered funny cars. Sush Matsubara up against Bob Pickett. Bob Pickett, a lap time, 6.98 seconds. And now in the second half of the second, Big Jim Dunn matching up with John Decker. Decker driving the assassination car. He knows his way around here at high altitude. Salt Lake, some 4,000 feet high. Denver, a little higher than that. He has the advantage. Jim Dunn now staging up. They both leave the line, but it's Dunn with the advantage. And he takes the race.
We broke the track record here and almost set a national record because of the altitude difference. They give a 5% cushion at this altitude, but it's a little bit, we have to run a little bit quicker than what we think right now, so we're not going to try to back it up rather than hurt the motor to save it for the eliminations.
All right, we're now getting ready for the final. It's that cagey Jim Dunn and his Barracuda up against Pete Everett's Little Demon. Bob Pickett doing the driving. This will be the final run of the points meet. All the gold on the line. All the marbles up for grabs. In the background, you can see Jim Dunn getting into that rear engine car. A lot of points at stake here, and Big Jim needs those points. Now we're getting ready for the burnouts, and you can see Jim Dunn's body high in the air, the plastic-bodied replica of Detroit Iron. Dunn will move up to do it. Wow, filthy burnout. Now Pete Everett's getting into another beautiful burnout. Tremendous action here at Bonneville Raceway. They're underway, and it's Jim Dunn in the lead. Big Jim Dunn wraps it up with a new track record.
I think I'll shout from the red. It's been a long time coming. Never thought today would be so long in a coming. Glad I told my friend that my time was coming. And I know I'll make tomorrow, 'cause I won today.
You hear all the fireworks going off on that?
Yeah, was that you?
Sure, at Celebrate, man. First car, this first race that one's ever won.
I don't care about tomorrow, 'cause I won today. Got my win today.
Reith Automotive, we used to race it with him, and Reith's been a racer for many years. He was racing before I was even. He was on the lake beds. We used to go out there. And he picks up a car. It was sort of a friendship type deal, where my original partner, Yates, he got married, so he wanted out. So I had a car and didn't have an engine. And Reith says, well, come on over and I'll give you an engine. So that was, probably 8 years ago. He's still giving me engines.
No, Jimmy in turn pays for most of his parts, and we just sell them at a cost basis. And we do most of the machine work. As far as experimental and test parts, Jimmy tests them for us.
He's been one of my major sponsors, and we've gotten along good. Well, you have to get along good to go for 8 or 10 years, being together like this here. Like I said, he gives me the shop, the truck, all the machine work.
No, Jim's good people. If he wasn't good people, we would be looking for a new, somebody else new. I mean, we might need a nice younger driver and all. When you get old and bald like Jim, what are you going to do?
That's what I got my kids for.
But you know what they say? They say there's old drivers and there's bold drivers, and you don't find too many bold old drivers. So for that long length of thought, I mean, Jimmy and I have a very happy relationship.
This summer's been a lousy year for me. We've had a lot of fun, but the year before was an exceptional year. We won quite a few races. We were probably one of the top cars on the West Coast. Out here we won more than anybody. But you don't like to be a loser. It's fun to work on something new once in a while, but you should get the results. And we just weren't getting the results, and it was telling on us, because we were ready to cut the car up. We were ready to go back to a conventional car. And then it started respawning. We all got rejuvenated again. Now we're ready to work on it. It'd be easy if there was a common problem, but there's never a common problem. Like today, we put a new Ford rear end in it. It's an $1,100 unit just for the third member and the housing. It's been tied up for 2 weeks getting it. The frame's been painted, sandblasted, all different mounts in and everything. Today's the day before the race. We got our axles last night. Got bearings pressed on this morning. Come down, put the axles in. They're each an inch too short. So they say, well, you can fix that if you go to Ontario and pick up this other hub. So, okay, so we tear the rear end apart, I make it to Ontario, come back, and that one doesn't work either. So now we're putting back the rear end that we spent $1,200 to take out. The kid I sold my old car to last week is Mike Dietrich. I hope he knows there's more to it than just getting in and driving it, because he's going out to get his driver's license today.
Showed me how to build a motor and how to run the car, how to set everything, how to mix the nitro. He showed me. I didn't know anything when I started. Everything I know now, he showed me.
He's trying. He's going to have a hard time. I told him it's going to cost you at least $2,000 to learn, just in broken parts and stuff. And maybe you'll make it, maybe you won't. Right now he's down to $750, which, when you consider he just stepped out of a Volkswagen and stepped into a Fueler, I think he's doing pretty good. He's not scared of the car. He does what we tell him. We tell him not to overextend yourself till you learn what the car's like, and he does. Everybody's laughing at him, sort of, because he's made maybe 14 runs. But he's down to a 750. He hasn't crashed it. He hasn't broke anything but a rear end. And I think that's very good for a beginner. Well, the first run, he went about 3 feet. Second run, he went about 4 feet. The next run, he went about 12 feet off the line. You know, I said, hey, what's the matter? You know, he says, I think it's going to the left. I said, well, it looks good. You know, what's the matter this time? I think it went to the right. And I said, okay, you know, don't push it, because you know, you feel bad. You tell a guy, well, you know, you're stupid, go all the way through, and he kills himself.
In order to get your license, you're required to make so many runs for a car. You got to make at least 6. You got to make 1/8 mile, 2 moderate, 1 more moderate, and 2 full. And you make those, and after you make those, and 2 full, and you get your license, you have to make 2 full if you think it's good enough.
You know, it's a good old car. The last time I drove it was a week before I sold it to him, and it went at 685, so he'll do it pretty quick.
Plymouth Barracuda funny car needing a 715 or better to get his NHRA AA funny car license. Third burn up by Diedrich, showing a lot of smoke for the rear tires, getting them rear tires good and warm. Diedrich backing up, just about set to go now. He's in the starting gate. The green light comes on, and Diedrich on a good run. He needs a 715 or better. He makes it for his NHRA driver's license.
I have often walked this road before, so many times, but alone light that cannot help but show. So come along, won't you listen to this song? A song from deep inside, so I won't hide my love from you again. So come along, won't you sing my little song? A song of love, a song of peace, a song of beauty. My song is you.
This is the annual Manufacturers Funny Car Team Championships, featuring the finest names in funny car racing. The entries include the Who's Who of Drag Racing, the Chi-Town Hustler, the Blue Max, Don Terry Sensors Vega, Don Perdome, Tom McEwen. Virtually every name, the finest names in the sport of funny car racing. They'll all race 3 rounds, round-robin style racing in this Funny Car Team Championships. The 2 quickest elapsed times will go in the final for the individual funny car champion.
Well, we've both been racing a long time. We both started out with AA fuel haulers. He went to dragsters. We got into funny cars. I guess we're both pretty ornery, so we just get along real good. You know, he's a good racer, so, you know, that brings out the competitive spirit, because the fact that if we lose, we have to take a lot of harassment afterwards, so we always try extra hard when we race. Most of the time, you know, like our parts are his parts we can borrow. We help each other whenever we can. There's no problem there. Oh, he's a great guy. You just, you know, if you understand him and everything, and you know that if you do bad, the harassment's going to come, and if he does bad, he expects the same from you, and, you know, we get along real fine. He was doing a lot of experimenting with the rear engine car, and, you know, like nobody else is venturing to try it out on a full-scale basis like he is. I think, but everything's coming around now where, you know, it's starting to justify for him holding out and trying it for this long.
Why do you like drag racing?
No, it's fun. It's the best.
Volkswagens, but they're not here.
It's really bitchin'.
Fun to watch. So like meet a lot of people.
I like to listen to the engines.
It's like racing.
I like the noise. See the girls.
Noise.
Far out, just far out.
Noise.
It's thrilling.
Oh, it's just really exciting.
I like to see cars win each other.
Well, my responsibility as a starter is to make sure that the cars are safe and they're not leaking any fuel, not leaking any oil. The car is safe to travel down the quarter mile, and when it's over and the driver has his chute out or unbuckles his seatbelt, whatever, that he's safe and the car is safe and there's no problems. Jim Dunn, Jim has a exceptionally good starting line reaction time, plus the fact that Jim's car seems to launch or leave the starting line quite a bit quicker than the average car, being that it's a straight clutch car. Normally with his super quick reaction and super quick launch off the starting line with his car, he'll win quite a few races.
Chevy Camaro. This is a brand new car, the sensor machine driven by Foster. Jervis O'Neill set in the tower side, Foster set in the spectator. There you go. Sensors got the lead. Pat Foster, the brand new Vega. Jervis O'Neill's on fire. He hits the bottle while Pat Foster goes on to low elapsed time of 6.59 seconds. There's a red light on the track. The emergency crew rolls to the aid of Jervis O'Neill. The number 5 qualifier for the Ford team, John Collins. Next, the number 2 qualifier, Dwayne Ong. The number 1 qualifier for the Ford team, Richard Tharp and the Blue Max. Next, we have Little John Lombardo, and next we have Jeff Cordy. Then Dave Beebe, Whipple and Mr. Ed, Jim Murphy, the Holy Smokes. Next, we have Jungle Jim Lieberman and Gary Bergen, the Brasket and Bergen Vega. The Dodge team led by the Chi-Town Hustler and Ron Colson and Big Jim Dunn from La Mirada, California, number 2 qualifier for the Plymouth team. And the Hawaiian, number 2, driven by Leroy Chatterton, a 6:78 elapsed time. Sush Matsubara for Paisano Matsubara, number 2, Pat Foster, the Very Sensor Vega, at a 6:59. Langford will go in McCullough, and the Revolution and Dodge even. The burnout by McCullough. They're both set to go with the green light. It's a hole shot by Langford. McCullough chases. They're backing up Quick Ziegler's Plymouth. They'll be facing the Dodge of Ray Alley. There they go. Quick Ziegler a little crossed up. Jumbo Jim Lieberman being backed up in the right-hand lane in his Chevy Vegas. Gary Dencham is already back in the Walker and Dencham with Ford in the middle. Lieberman moves forward now to Chevy Vega. The flames is pulsing out of the headers. You can see the flames blubbering about 5 to 6 feet in the air as Lieberman is just about set to go. Alongside of him, Dencham in that Ford over in the left-hand lane. Both RPMs are up now. The green is on, and they're set to go underway down the field. Jumbo Jim out first. It'll be Jim Lieberman all the way to 6:69 elapsed time. It's Little John Lombardo for the Chevrolet team and Mike Halligan. Midway down the track, Little John's car shoots some sparks, but he still holds on for the victory in 7.27 seconds. They're both set. There they go. At the other end, it's Richard Max holding on for the victory, and then Max wins the 7:10 elapsed time. In the tower side will be the rear engine for Barracuda of Mikey Jim Dunn. Just like the inner side is for the They're both set to go. The green light is on. It's Dunn out first. The Hawaiian has broken on the starting line. Jim Dunn streaks to a 6:63, 213.27 mile per hour victory. Low qualifiers at this point is Billy Meyer, plays 6:51, and Ron Colson plays 6:57. Now it's the Holy Smokes for the Plymouth team and the Pacemaker for the Chevy team. They're both set. Holy Smokes running in charge from the big end. It's the Pacemaker holding on for the victory. We have an exhibition here by Gary Watson, his paddy wagon wheel stander. Watson underway, the front wheels are up, the sparks on the rear end, Watson making his way down the quarter mile. Gary Watson, the entire quarter mile with a shower of sparks, quite an exhibition. It's Cheryl Greer from the Ford team, Lizato Matsumara for the Chevy team. Matsumara will be in the tower side. They're in the stage lights, they're all set. Car. He's screaming on the guardrail. It appears he'll be all right. Greer goes off for the victory.
Yeah, that's a third car Paisano. You know, he's piled up. When you're racing, you overextend yourself. That's probably the most hazardous time for a driver. Now, this one, he sheared all the lug nuts off. I mean, that's an act of God. There's no way you're going to fix it. He's just lucky he didn't get hurt, you know. And he's very good for crashing 3 times and flipping twice, and he doesn't seem to get scared a bit, so, I mean, he's sure not afraid of it.
It's a wheels stand exhibition by Richard Schroeder in his Dodge Challenger. The wheels are off in Schroeder's machine. The sparks are flying. He goes the entire quarter mile on 2 wheels. Okay, the quickest 2 elapsed time still remain. Billy Myers is 6:51 and Ron Colson is 6:57. But that could change right here as Jim Dunn doesn't burn out the great year. Dunn is moving on to the Greater Ray Mustang. Jim Dunn, the crew members out there assisting him and pushing him back as far as letting him go first gear. In contrast, Wayne on back his machine up with the aid of a reverser in the Ford Mustang. They're both set to go now. They're staged up. Green light. It's the fireman, Jim Dunn moving first. Wayne Ong has broken something in the Mustang as Dunn and streaks down the quarter mile to a 6:84 victory. The opponent for Masmanian will be the Blue Max of Harry Schmidt, driven by Richard Tharp. Set to to go. The green is on. Chased him down the quarter mile. It's Danny Gaius with a 6:75 victory.
Some drivers are lucky, and some aren't. Like the guy's saying for me that I'm one of the luckiest unlucky guys there is, because if I lose a race or the motor dies at the starting line, I shut it off early, I don't know why, and we'll come home and the rod will be hanging loose, the rear end's ready to fall out, and that's just being very lucky when you're unlucky.
It's the Hustler. The winner of this pairing will feature Al Hanna and the Eastern Raider Ford Fennell. Remember, the Ford team was definitely in contention for the overall championship here. And Frank Rupert, the Mason Rupert Chevy Vega. They're both set to go now. Hanna for the Ford team, Rupert as an alternate. It's Hanna moving first in the Ford. Rupert Jason. Rupert loses something as Al Hanna goes on for the victory at a 6:70, 60 laps time. Inbound, strike down the quarter mile behind his motorcycle, showering sparks the entire quarter. Foster having completed his burnouts in the background, and Dunn comes to the starting line for his dry burnout. But wait a minute, Dunn cannot stop his car. He continues on down the quarter mile, apparently with a broken brake or something to that effect. He will not be able to compete. It'll be Pat Foster on the single run.
Who would I be without you? Would I be me without you? What would I like to talk about? Not knowing what would knock you out. Where would I be without you? Who would you be without me? Would you be you without me? What would you like to care about? Not knowing what I care about. Where would you be without me? Funny how we are together, different than before. Giving up the I for and finding that we're so much more, so much more. What would I do without you?
Those were the United States Navy Blue Angels welcoming you to National Challenge here at Tulsa, Oklahoma. A lot of festivities here today. That's a float by the co-sponsors of this event, the United States Navy. We never ever seen a sailor like that. A lot of people here. There we go again with that beautiful Navy float. We'll also see Linda Vaughn, Miss Hearst Golden Shifter, along drag race here at Tulsa, Oklahoma. Next up in this great parade of championship cars, Jim Dunn and his fine crew from California. This car was a winner at the big Bakersfield meet. He's one of the perennial champions out from California. Of course, great excitement here. We have spectators from all over the country, young people, old people, everybody excited about the great event here at Tulsa.
Funny feeling, with the fear and yet a tingling, knowing that before long I'd be roaring down that quarter mile. Got my funny car and family, headed to the drag strip early. Felt the funny stillness as I walked that empty quarter mile. Come with me, funny car summer. Go for me, funny car summer. Most men take their fears and hide them, letting them just eat inside them. I take fears and let them ride that cruel quarter
Trips like Tulsa, we call them sponsors races because we're sponsored very good over the year by Goodyear and Valvoline, all our clutch people. You know, everybody's on our car, but they want us at 3 big major events out of the year just for the odds. And we know we're going to lose money. I mean, it costs us $1,000 just to get here and run our car. And if we qualify, we get $500, and half of us are going to lose first round. But we feel it's money ahead in the long run.
Wynn's Courage of Australia is a rocket-powered dragster. It decomposes hydrogen peroxide. That's how we get our thrust. The car is 27.5 feet long. It weighs 890 pounds, and the car has turned 311 in 5.10 seconds.
Accident. Larry Brown tosses the motor completely out of Bob Dumont's digger. And incredibly, just as incredibly, Larry Brown walks away unhurt. Driving the that Whipple car from Fresno. Alabamian, driven by Billy Holt. The winner, Whipple and Mr. Ed, Dave Beebe driving with a 6.89. Dunn and Reed, that rear-engine Barracuda. The only one in Tulsa being pulled now into the fire-up area, while Telstar is making his smoky burnout. It's the Telstar Charger winning it. Ladies and gentlemen, from California, the only rear-engine funny car at National Challenge, fireman Jimmy Dunn. His opposition, Don Schumacher from Evergreen, Illinois. Jim Dunn, in a fuel dragster, was the first to go in Indianapolis at 6.99 several years ago. Boy, that's one tough dude in the far lane. Disconsolate Jim Dunn. The car coasting to a stop. The win to Schumacher.
No one likes to lose, you know. I mean, especially when you break something. I mean, you buy the best you can get. You work on it as hard as you can, and it's a bummer when it breaks because I mean, here we come 1,000 miles. You spend money and. So great, you know you're going to spend money, but you don't come to break something. You come to get beat. I mean, there's 16 other losers out here, and we're all mad, but at least the other 15 probably got beat. I mean, to me, when something breaks, you don't get beat. It's just a bummer, and that's all there is to it. The only good thing about drag racing I really enjoy, I mean, it's instant. You hear when the tree goes off, 7 seconds later, you know you're either a winner or a loser, and boy, there's a winner and there's a lot of losers everywhere. You know?
We've done all those yesterday. For tomorrow's the birth of a new day yet come. But there's never gonna be, or never will again be another day for you and me like now. So say goodbye to those old ties, and don't you cry about yesterday, 'cause it's gone now to stay, and you can't live and play in a world of hopes and dreams of yesterday. Of yesterday. She's gone away. Say goodbye to yesterday. She's gone to stay. Say goodbye to yesterday. Say goodbye to yesterday. She's gone to stay. Say goodbye to yesterday. Say goodbye to yesterday. She's gone away. Say goodbye to yesterday. Oh, say goodbye to yesterday.
I first got into bike racing when I read in the paper that they were going to have one at the shopping center. At the time, we were just racing in the street, so I figured I had a pretty good chance, and it was better than just racing in the street because they had a full Christmas tree and everything. So I went out there, and I made my first run, and I crashed and broke my handlebars, and everybody was laughing at me. So I got mad and went home and got a new pair of handlebars and came back and set low ET. And then they weren't laughing too much anymore. At that race, I ended up getting second place because a guy beat me out by just about a foot. They had a special light system where you could cut the light, and he knew about it, and I didn't, so he left on me, and he ran his best time at 6:66, and I just couldn't catch him. After that, I got it figured out how to do it and started winning more races.
Well, my concern about my kids now is that they become responsible adults and enjoy their life.
Stopping the clock with a 7:22. Really race time. Frank Datum. All right, looks like we have another race coming up here. Dunn in the right lane, and down he goes. It's going to be closer, right down to the finish line. Really cranking it on, and it looks like it is done right across the line. Elapsed time for him, 5:89. 5:89 for Mike Dunn. Now we've got a special exhibition run by Frank Dado on his specially dismantled bicycle. The front wheel has been taken off, and down he goes, giving us an exhibition run to the finish line, in and out the cones, Mr. Frank Dado.
I might want to be a funny car driver when I grow up and try it. I might want to be it. Because like Cha-Cha and Downey, I want to try to be, you know, better and be like the fastest funny car girl.
The next racer to come up will be Patty Dunn. Okay, on the line is Patty Dunn, going down for her qualifying run. Down to the finish line, let's see what she does. Patty Dunn, the fastest qualifier in the girls division with a 7:22. All right, it looks like Mark Serby in the left lane. Going down for his qualifying run. Mark Serby really cranking it on, giving it all he's got. 6.30 seconds and giving the shoot to. Gentlemen, this is the big race of the day. The final run between Mike Dunn and Kurt Claude in the left lane. Okay, they're all set. The amber lights are coming down. The green light is on. And they're gone. Top eliminator of the day. It's time now to give out our prizes and our trophies to the trophy winners here today. We have Mr. Alfonso from the bike shop across the way, and he's got some prizes to give out. He's got a bicycle racing hat for Mike Dunn, the top eliminator. That'll keep the hair out of your eyes, Mike. And along with that, we have our first place trophy. So congratulations to you. You've done a fantastic job. 5.89 seconds.
Here today at Orange County International Raceway, you'll see the Division 7 of points meet final. This, of course, the all-important race. It's the end of the trail for the WCS racers. Today, here at this event, the final chance for them to gain points at an all-important berth at the World Finals. This is the final points meet right here at Orange County Raceway. Jolie is staged up. Jolie qualifies at a 6:81 elapsed time.
Track's got me a little spooked because you know, we went up and smoked the first run and didn't prove anything. And last night we came back and went up to smoke again. So I lifted out of it and I got her straight. When I got down there about 800-foot mark, just turned left, you know, for no reason. Usually the car will wander when you're coming down there, but they're not supposed to turn left.
But the battle in top fuel, I'm sure you'll find highly contested, and Jim Dunn of the Dunn & Reed Barracuda, moving into the bleach box, set for his burnout. The burnout by Big Jim Dunn. A nice, tremendous, smoky burnout, the rear engine Barracuda. Dunn's car being pushed back to the start line by the crew members. This, incidentally, is the only rear engine funny car involved in the Division 7 points chase. Jim Dunn, a fireman during the week, now at the wheel of his back-motored Plymouth Barracuda. The late model Hemi power plant just pulsating away as Dunn comes up to the stage beams. Dunn's now all set. Remember, he's running on the tower side. He is not yet qualified. Green light comes on. Jim Dunn away in the tower side. The tires break loose. He's trying to pivot the that is not quite good enough to qualify.
When he comes in loose, you know it's a short day. He's not going to do no hell of a lot. But when the old man comes in the gate upset, mad at the people at the gate, and that's when the old man comes on. And like this last run, when, you know, all day long we've been kind of lax and everything, all of a sudden the chips are down, we got to make a pass. When he's really tight and he's really got to make a move, and then that's when he's going to do it.
Sometimes it's better thinking things over, waiting at the end of the line. It's the end of the line for things I once knew. The start of the time to be with you. The gentlest love man ever has made. I'm so glad I stayed at the end of the line. I'm so glad I stayed till the end of the line. At the end of the
It just goes squirrely, you know. We went up there a little while ago and smoked the tires. You know, then we gets on out there a little further and it starts heading for the lights, and they had to pull the chute and get it off the strip because, you know, I'm going to take the lights down. They sprayed the strip and it's just not holding it in the middle. I mean, there's no traction here. We keep taking clutch out of it, and we're hoping to slip the clutch more because we don't want the tires to break loose, and we've got to slip the clutch more. If it works out, you know, we should get a fairly decent run, but this is our last chance to qualify today, so I mean, we got to do something.
Ethan Poe is number 7 at a 684. This is the time to sweat it out because neither of these drivers are in the program. An added spark of interest here is that Montemara, Jim Dunn, and Dave Beebe are all three tied for the division title for the funny car points lead. Beebe already qualified. If these two cars fail to qualify now, it'll be all over as Beebe will probably win the division. This is especially important for Big Jim Dunn because Dunn has been working all summer with this experimental Plymouth Barracuda, a car that led to victory at Salt Lake City with the points championship, but has broken down in Tulsa, blew a top at the Hang 10 20 car 500, and broke a 2-speed at the Sacramento points meet. Can Big Jim Dunn, who's had such a tough summer, come back and win this division crown? We'll see here today. Chips are down. Neither driver qualified. A 699 and a 684 are the two numbers they're shooting at. Sush Matsubara has had his ups and downs over the years, and really it's all on the line for him now. It's all on the line also for Jim Dunn because he's got to make this qualification to go into the points championship. His crew is pushing him back. You can well imagine the tension of this man, a man who's gone from a good year with a front-engine machine to this new rear experimental Plymouth Barracuda. Jim Dunn, winner of the last points meet in the right-hand lane, can also win the division if he wins here tonight. They're moving up the line cautiously. Oh my, these guys you can plainly see are really loaded for bear. number 3 position. Sushma Samara, meanwhile, does not make the program.
Best thing that happened to me, rather than getting rich, I'm pretty well satisfied as it is. I got a good job, I got a good family, I got a good hobby.
I think the most fun that I've had in drag racing is when I've been able to help on the car itself.
Incidentally, this race here, before we get into eliminations on this beautiful shirt sleeve type evening here in Southern California, will be the final summer race here at Orange County Raceway, and it will be the Division 7 points meet final. And what a race this should be.
We move now to the first race of this first round of Funny Car Eliminator. And what a chance right here for Jim Dunn to further his ambition of being the Division 7 points champion. It'll be Jim Dunn up against Smokey Joe Lee from San Diego, California. Dunn, of course, the La Mirada fireman driving that rear-engine funny car, one of the very few rear-engine cars in the country today in Funny Car Eliminator, and certainly the most successful rear-engine car that has ever been built. Jim Dunn and Dave Beebe are tied for the points lead at the moment. The man that goes the farthest in competition tonight is the man that will take home the title, the champion of Funny Car Eliminator in Division 7. He's worked all year for this chance. We're down to the final race tonight, and this is where it's all on the line. It's either do or don't tonight. Jim Dunn, the rear-engine car coming to life. He'll be taking the spectator lane. Joe Lee will be on the tower side with his Charger out of San Diego, California. A whole season's racing on the line tonight at Orange County International Raceway for Big Jim Dunn. It comes down to this final moment. He must win this race, advance to round number 2, and try his best for the final to make it to the Division 7 points. The fireman from La Mirada, ready to go. He's made his burnout. It's time now to stay. Both cars, Smokey Joe Lee and Jim Dunn, now staged. They're on the starting line. This is the moment Jim Dunn's been waiting for. We'll try to call who leads first.
I think he's really great. He's a good husband.
Easy to get along with. It's fun to watch him, especially when he wins.
I don't think I'd want to have any other father.
Made it through the qualifying. Worked like hell to keep me firing. Then I fought my way to staging for that final quarter mile. Yeah, I finally made the final, but I know it's never final. 'Cause the only win worth winning is that next whole quarter mile. Come with me, funny car summer. Come for me, funny car summer. Some have hearts for writing music, some have heads for making money. But I got hands for driving things that fly a quarter mile. Come with me, funny car summer. Come for me, funny car summer. Most men take their fears and hide them, letting them just eat inside them. But I take fears and let them ride that cruel quarter mile. Come with me, funny car summer. Come for me, funny car